Like the idea that a voice can just go somewhere uninvited, like a dirty thought in a nice clean mind.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Jay. This is Real Talk, and we're back at you with two men you were really going to want to hear from, doing a lot of great stuff from Peixoto clothing line. But before I even introduce you guys, Len B, I'm going to let you do it because I don't want to mess up any of the titles or what you guys got going on. So why don't you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thanks, Jay, for having us on Yankee and the Brit, man. Really appreciate this opportunity. I'm Len B Len B Peixoto. LB3 is my fight name. We're on with Big Gern, Fred Stewart,
Yes,
who is the president of Peixoto Clothing Company and vice president of PXO Foundation. I'm the president of PXO Foundation, a COO of Peixoto Clothing Company. Yeah, and fight promoter, fight announcer at the Scrapyard, and we're the lead promoters, or I would say lead sponsors too, out at the Scrapyard Street Beefs. And also coach to those guys you see right there, one of the coaches.
So how did Peixoto start? Like, what was it when you guys just decided, like, we're going to do a clothing line? And if I'm mistaken, somebody correct me, but this is the last name of somebody's grandmother?
Yeah, Peixoto is my great-grandmother's maiden name, Marie Peixoto. She was born in Jamaica. Her family derived from Cuba and Portugal. From Portugal to Cuba to Jamaica, and then migrated to New York. And that's where the majority of my family is from. So, Peixoto is my great-grandmother's name. I started creating it in 2000. So it's been around the scene for about 22 years now.
That is very cool. I'm not going to lie. Like, I first heard about Peixoto because I watch a lot of Street Beef, I watch a lot of MMA, and our boy Jay Gotham was wearing Peixoto and shouted it out. And I was like, bro, you got to explain this. And then I went over to to you guys' website. Man, you guys got some lit gear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, with Jay Gotham, he was one of the first guys to really come on as far as helping us create what we call Team Peixoto. And a lot of people don't really understand that Team Peixoto is actually not an actual fight team. It's actually a group of guys that we chose to sponsor is what it was. So that's how we created Team Peixoto. Now, Team TFW, who we merged with, they're actually a fight team. So we actually helped Team TFW promote that piece of it. So again, we're a big sponsor. We're a clothing company. And that's kind of what. And Jay Gotham's just an awesome dude. We help him also with the music side of things too when we can, because we're really involved in making sure that we promote the music. And also we kind of led our way a couple years back into having Peixoto Productions. Our vice president of Peixoto, Boogie Brow, James Stewart, is kind of like our lead artist, and he got some hot music. So we decided to kind of lean into music. Jay Gotham just fit the piece, and then we started doing music with Jay. Yep.
And then I see you got our boy Viking Warrior. That dude is a monster. I know he told us he only got one more year of fighting left. But boy, is that going to be an exciting year, because I'm waiting to see if anybody can beat this man. And I was joking with him one day. I said, bro, what are you, like 3% body fat? It's ridiculous.
The dude is amazing. And when you got Jay Gotham, you got Viking Warrior, man. It's like they're two peas in a pod, man. They're great friends. They really look out for each other. They train together. They do so much. Both of them guys are just phenomenal specimens of fighters and men. Just both their body. They don't have an ounce of fat on them. It's crazy. Their work ethics are pretty much similar. They really work. They train real hard. Their success really comes from, I think, the two of them kind of piggybacking off of each other. They hype each other up. They support each other. They train together. And it's just amazing. And now they're starting to build a culture over at TFW with guys under them. And also with Thomas, he'll go to certain gyms like 7th Street Boxing. Shout out to 7th Street. And then, he just does so much for the community as well, as far as just coaching and helping out. He's and working with youth. So yeah, they're really good guys, man. I'm glad to have them on Team Peixoto. They're also leading the way to add more to that group. So if you see, like, you got Meek, Meek is a good fighter. He's unbelievable. He just joined recently. Jordan Harrington and Shiloh, those guys are also part of. Yeah, Showtime. He's part of the family too, and we'll be doing some sponsorship for Jordan and some pro stuff that's coming up. And also going back to Viking Warrior, which you said, like, he only had a year. I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that year is not 1 year, that extends a little bit longer. I think he has more in the tank than he thinks.
I agree with you, and I hope you get him, because I love watching that dude fight. And just from talking to these dudes, like, because to get them on the show, you end up building a little bit of a relationship because you're talking on Facebook, you're following them. Jordan Harrington, Preacher's son, which is Shiloh.
Yeah.
Jay Gotham, Viking Warrior. They are such great dudes. Like, the Scrapyard dudes are so amazing. All the Street Beef dudes are, but we have such a great relationship with the Scrapyard, bringing Buddy V on to do MMA Underground. We started with Scrapyard a few months after they kicked off, because I was a big Street Beef fan, and then I liked the West Coast. And I really liked the production of Scrapyard, so they really dragged me in. How did you guys get to be part of and a huge sponsor for the Scrapyard?
Well, it started out with my brother LeCedric. He called me up one day. He was there the very first month that they started. Back when there was just like bungee cords and balloon noodles, pool noodles that were for the rings. But Steve has given us a great platform, a great place to bring a certain culture there. And I believe that a lot of the men there go there because they're dealing with daily challenges in their own life, and they need advice. They need somewhere to go. That community has built a brotherhood. I mean, I've never been a place where people can actually get in the ring, beat the crap out of each other, and really hug it up. I mean, they hug it up before the fights. You know what I'm saying? They all support each other. They corner each other. And so that happened the first month. Cedric, the following month, I think it was back in June of 2020. And I went out, saw what was going on at the time. Like I said, I was very heavy into promoting fighters or artists, musicians, promoting them and managing them. So I stepped away from being a manager and decided it was better for me to call myself an agent rather than a manager. Because as an artist myself back in the day, I couldn't handle being managed. It was a lot of lies. It was a lot of false, money that was circled around me that I didn't get action at. There's so many things that as an artist, you get taken advantage of when you're a manager. So when I went out to Street Beefs, I saw fighters, and I was like, well, if we can't, because COVID hit us and we couldn't perform at the clubs, we couldn't perform and do shows. So with my brother and me being out there, he introduced me to Fire Chicken, and shout out to Fire Chicken in the Scrapyard. Because he's become a good friend of mine, and their family in the yard is very important to me. But when I went out there, I met those guys, and immediately I gravitated towards, trying to help. That's what I do. I help. I get involved. I do anything I can to be a piece of it. So that's what really happened. Is I went out there, saw some fighters, decided why manage artists when I got an opportunity to manage fighters. And so I started pulling in different fighters. And of course, like I said, Jay Gotham was one of the first. Crazy Legs. There's a group of guys, Simo, the Turco brothers. Those are kind of how we started. Rashad Shrugs. Those were all the beginners of Peixoto. And so I had called Fred Stewart with Peixoto Clothing, and said, hey, bro, what do you think about us being a sponsor out here? What do you think about us creating a team? And a lot of people don't know, but the Team Peixoto name came from before we had fighting. It was because we had a management group. We had Fred, who was the president. I was a West Coast rep. Boogie was the vice president. And we had so many pieces. Reese, our security guy. So we called ourselves Team Peixoto. And that's kind of where the team came from. But since we already had that, it just made sense to just say, hey, we're in a fight community. Why not call this Team Peixoto? And so we decided to bring in the Team Peixoto, create a logo, and give these guys some fight gear. And that's where it all started. And yeah.
So, Big Gern, I just wanted to know, what happened? One day you just woke up and said, "Fuck it, we're gonna run with a clothing line."
No, I did. It kind of.
You got to tell me about Butterbean.
Yeah, I had a clothing line before that called Butterbean back in '94. And even before that, I had another clothing line I was doing with my partner in Seattle called Skins. So I've been in the clothing industry, graphic design forever, you know? So with that being said, I designed the Rough Rider logo. I did the whole campaign and the merch for Rough Riders and DMX. So in between, after Butterbean kind of phased out, I started Pishotto. And being that it was my family name is something that I can't get rid of. You know what I'm saying? I just can't quit. So I've been
and I like the history of where you got the name, because I ain't gonna lie, as an Italian, right away when I saw a vowel, I was like, "Hey, is that a paisan?" But it wasn't. That's okay though. But that's what caught me right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, you know, being that it's my family's name, I just decided to just ride it till the wheels fall off. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
that's what it's been since the 2000s. Been Pishotto all the way.
That's you just putting that grind in. You can tell you've been doing shit. You ain't gonna let it go. I love it, man. Everybody out here grinding, pulling each other up. That's what it's all about.
NGU, never give up.
So I want to get into what you guys do in the community, because as much as I love the clothing line, the street beef stuff, all the stuff you guys are out there doing, man, I love what I see on Len B's Facebook, man. You're always out there. You're coaching. You're putting on shows with Jay Gotham and other artists, raising money. You're doing, I forget what it's called, so you'll have to let me know, but where you and Jay Gotham are out there mentoring young men, putting on these shows. Man, this stuff is amazing. Like, I say this all the time on our podcast. As much as I love you guys and street beefs and stuff like that, dude, you're better people. So I want to talk more about that.
Well, you know, going back to the fight stuff with Jay Gotham, with me, I've always been kind of a give back to the community kind of guy. I grew up in an area where, you know, the streets were kind of ugly. I was involved in the gang stuff, and you know, I when I started having a family and kids, and then the pressures of my dad putting certain pressure on me. He's a pastor, and so you know, as I got older, I started to reflect and say, you know, I'm not living in line to what I should be doing, and I felt that there was a higher calling. And so what I started to do was really get involved in the community. And this was earlier on. This was years ago, before Pishotto even came about. We were or not became about, but before I got involved. It was just a big passion of mine. I have my son is 21 years old. And when he was actually born, I told my dad that I was going to do more and kind of give all the street stuff up. And so I did that. And back when I was in high school, I met James Stewart, Boogie Brow. That's my guy. That's Gern's cousin, blood cousin there. And so me and him gravitated together. He had the music thing. I was doing the music thing. And we'd be in the school hallways, you know, making beats in the lockers, freestyling and all that good stuff. And then we just always stuck together. And I, you know, when I learned that he was part of Fred and they had a clothing line, I was like, you know what, let me get involved there. But to go back to the community work, and Jay Gotham specifically, is that when we brought him on, I was thinking, I said, well, we got this huge platform, right? You're getting thousands and thousands, sometimes millions of views on street beef. So I'm kind of like, well, Jay Gotham, how do you feel about fighting for a cause? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, man, let's fight for something. So I like to make sure that all the fighters have not just a reason to fight for themselves, but they have a reason to fight in the community. And I think that a lot of people can get behind them once they can see that how much good work is being done. So with Jay Gotham, he started fighting for autism, and we were taking in money, and he was doing some great work with that, helping families fight autism by giving like activity kits to kids, and it really focused around kids because he has a kid who's challenged. And so I thought that was a great thing. And so from PXO or Pishotto, and I won't say PXO yet, but from Pishotto, we started taking the fighters, and I started saying, hey, look, let's build some campaigns around you, because even if in an event that you decide to go pro, I want the community to support you. I want fans to look at you and say that this guy is doing something positive. And I believe that when you can project that you're doing something positive, no matter what you're doing, you're going to get a lot of followers. You're going to get people that buy into that. And today, unfortunately, a lot of the success that we create behind the things we do are built off of social media. And so I was just like, let's do that. So we kind of kept going. Jay ended his campaign. We started doing the music, and then from there, I had already been working with a foundation called Trust the Process. Shout out to Trust the Process, my dude Cortez Charles out of South Seattle. And what they were doing, where they were helping young men, troubled teens, from the community in Rainier Beach community. If you're from our part of the town, Rainier Beach is the south end of Seattle, and it doesn't really get the best image. It's known as kind of like being a little bit of a ghetto, or, you know, some poverty there, low income families and whatnot. And so I think the image of what was going on in Seattle, I had to really help be a part of fixing that, you know. And so with Cortez Charles and Trust the Process, I joined their nonprofit. We started doing like turkey bowl tournaments for the youth, feeding the homeless, going out and making turkey sack lunches during Thanksgiving. And we would go to, you know, at the beginning, we only had maybe canned foods. We would drop those off to food banks. And then we grew and grew every year. And our 7th year was this past year. And we got to the point where now we're up to like, you know, like 15, maybe even 20 different homeless camps that we go serve, and we drop off, you know, hot food sometimes. Or this past year it was sack lunches. So we use the kids to make the sack lunches. So we bring all the youth from the community, from wherever they would like to come, and we teach them how to be selfless, how to give to others, how to, you know, not so much be selfish or judge books by their covers, because they don't really understand that the people in those situations are in those situations for reasons. Sometimes it's not drugs and it's not alcohol. And sometimes we never want to get that. We don't ever want to judge a book by its color and cover and assume that these people are in those situations because of drugs and alcohol. There's so many other reasons. So what we did was I joined that, and then we had a holiday event called Holiday Hangout, which was after Thanksgiving. It was the Christmas one. That was when we decided that we were going to have Santa Claus and the Grinch, and then toys for kids and photos with Santa. You know, I mean, you know, the whole nine. Hot dinners for the community. And this past year we did really good. It was outstanding, even though we still faced with some challenges there. But that kind of led the way for PXO Foundation. I was part of Trust the Process for 7 years. This past season, I had Gern come out. Gern was the Santa Claus for us, and I was the Grinch. And man, the kids just loved it, and my family gets involved. My children love it. My wife and kids love that we do the community thing. And so I just decided. I said, "Hey, look, man, I'm around this sports. I'm around football. I'm around middle schools. I'm doing all this coaching. I'm doing fighting coaching. I got a good group of guys in the fight community that want to give back. What can we do?" And I reached out to Gern, and we've been talking about it for a while now. He came up with the acronym PXO. That was his part of Peixoto. That was the PXO was like a logo to Peixoto. So what he did was create providing experience and opportunity, PXO. So we built onto that. That's our nonprofit. We just got that started, got the 503c, got the business license. And now we're just trying to get that from the ground up, find a facility, which is kind of hard because, you know, with finances, you gotta build first and then you get the grants, right? And so we're like, well, how do we build? We don't really have that money to build this facility. Well, the idea behind the facility would be that we would have a multi-sport athletic complex, not too big, something where kids can come and work out, kids can come train. If they're football or basketball or baseball or whatever it is sport they do, they can come get some extra help in those areas. I would call coaches in to come and give them the necessary tools to level up. These would be, of course, off-season workouts, and then also give them the mentoring piece through that. And so that's where that came from with Gern. And then we also took PXO is providing experience and opportunity through athletics, career building, and education. And so that's the biggest thing for us. And so with Gern, he's a graphic designer. He's a very smart business entrepreneur. We actually got together and he's like, can you do the level up side? You're a businessman. You're very smart. You're educated. And we can do things where we can help kids get to the next level through an educational piece. which is providing tutors, which is if they're troubled with anything struggling in the education side of things, and we can help them, whether that be get to college, write college applications, the whole nine. So that's Peixoto, PXO. And then there's the career building part of it. What we want to do is we want to give the kids, again, experience that creates opportunity. So experience in the career building thing would look like something on the lines as internship through companies, smaller local companies that will allow youth to come in and volunteer their time so that maybe they can get some hours, clock hours and things. So we're still devising those programs, and it's just a great thing that we can do that for, we're trying to do that for all the Seattle area, not just our community, but all of Seattle. So that's the root behind PXO Foundation. And we're looking, hopefully the website will be up March 1st. I'll have the website up. We got, if you want to connect with us, we already have our, you can connect, PXO Foundation at gmail.com. You can also PXO Foundation, .org, because we do have a .org now. And then you can reach me, Len B Hicks, LB3 on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media. Same with Gern. Anybody that needs help with their youth, I encourage those people to reach out to us, because I don't care if you're in another state. You know what I'm saying? If you got a kid that needs some help, I'm willing to help. We're willing to help. Fred's from New York. I'm from Washington. And you can see we're on two ends of the duck. We're willing to help wherever it is. You know what I mean? And so people reach out to us if you need some help or some resources with your youth. I'm willing to research your community, research what's going on, and get some help for those kids. And that's the big piece about what I do for PXO Foundation. And Gern, with his support, I appreciate him allowing me to do this through PXO or Peixoto. So that's that.
Yeah.
That's that.
No, that's amazing. I love what you guys do. So like when Jay Gotham and I think we kind of hit it off because we kind of have a similar background, ran with some fucked up people, ended up in prison, that kind of shit. Yeah. Changed our life around though, right? So when Jay Gotham reaches out to me and he's like, bro, we want to come on, me and Jordan, talk about our fight. We're going to raise money for autism. Right away, I'm like, fuck yeah, I got you. Then find out my co-host Maddie's brother, which I didn't even know until this, suffers or I don't want to say suffers because this kid thrives, right?
Yeah.
But he has autism, so it's a battle for him once in a while. It touched home. I know a couple people with autism. So it was one of those things where I was like, definitely, let's do this. With that said, anything you guys are doing moving forward, let us at Yankee and the Brit know, and we will do anything we can do to help, because it's such an amazing thing that you guys are getting out in the community. I also
real quick, Jay, why you before I'm not to cut you off, but while you're saying that, I got to shout out Simo. Simo right now is doing something that is to help with mental depression. He's really in on that right now. That's part of his campaign. He wants to build something and do something great for those guys who are dealing with those challenges. Some of you guys don't know, Simo was in the military. And so because he's a military kind of guy, I think he leaned more towards the psychological effects that are happening in our communities by, mental health. And so if you got, if you want to help him out, reach out to Jay. Reach out to Simo, and I'm going to be helping him real soon here with getting things. And so is I see you have Buddy V on the show too. So Buddy V is a part of helping Simo as well. Yep.
Shout out Buddy V. Who. All right. All those links that he was talking about, guys, I will put in the description below, so you'll be able to click on them, go see what he's talking about. I do want to talk to you about how you got into the football and helping there. But before we get there, we have a word from Overtime Hustling. Cuzzo has something for us all.
What up, y'all? This your boy Cuzzo, host of the Chronicles podcast and also the host of Overtime Reactions. And let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all make sure to go check out Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk. Them guys are knowledgeable. They have good content. Go support them, man. Go check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and definitely tune in to MMA Underground Weekly, man, where they have guests, great commentary, let you know about upcoming events, promotional material, all that, man. Go check them out. Yankee and the Brit, what up? Salute from your boy Cuzzo. Holla.
Thanks, Cuzzo. Yeah. Every time I see that, I'm like, we asked him to promote his show, and he ends up promoting our show more than his. So I really appreciate him, man. But
I do too.
Hustling's doing their thing.
Yeah, thanks, Cuzzo, bro. That's dope. I mean, he's been a big supporter of the Scrapyard. I watch him on all of his shows, and he's just a good dude. And I believe what he's doing and the partnership with you, Yankee, and the Brit. We're just building a huge community, and I can continue to see it grow and grow and grow, and I'm loving it. But thanks, Cuzzo, for doing that. Shout out to OTH.
All right, and shameless promotion, you guys. I will be on Turf Tales this next week with Minnesota Vikings. Alexander Madsen, so don't miss out on us on Turf Tales, powered by Overtime Hustling Magazine. Nothing like some self-promotion. All right, Len, how'd you get into the football thing, man? I see you out there going live. I see you out there giving your time. I saw you out there in some rain just getting beat on out there, still doing your thing.
Well, that's freaking Seattle, man. Seattle's like a weather, man. You never know what's going to happen. You could be out there in mid-sunshine and all of a sudden you're in a tsunami. It's just Seattle. But, I love it. And football is been a piece of me since I was a little kid. I played football myself. I played Little League football, went to high school, played high school football. You know what I'm saying? And I just love it. And so for me, I got injured my freshman year, college stuff, trying to get in and do some things, but got injured. I broke some ribs playing. What happened was I was playing some semi-pro football, broke some ribs, fractured a few bones in my body, being a little small tailback, back in the day, I was a small two, but nowadays it's just a two tailback, but I was a small two. I played a little halfback, punt return, kick return. I got injured during a punt return, bottom of a pig pile. Anyway, to make a long story short, at that time, I decided I couldn't play anymore. So the best thing to do to stick around football was to coach. That was in 1997. I've been coaching football since 1997. A lot of you guys don't know I'm a little older than what people think, but I stayed coaching, and I coached Little League football probably for like 2-3 decades until 2014, where I got a coach that came up to me and said, "Hey, would you like to coach high school football?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually I would." I kind of got played out on doing all the little kid things, and I won so many titles and had so many championships, and we can give all the numbers of how many championships and all that, right? But I was a highly successful coach. Me and my cousins, the Carter brothers, who I coached with at the time, and I got that opportunity. Matter of fact, before that, I had an Oregon State coach. I actually was an Oregon State guy, but Oregon State coach at the time in 2000, and I think it's like 2012, he had came out on the field and was like, "Hey, you work with my kid or with my sister's kid, and I like what you're doing. Would you ever consider being an assistant coach at the college level?" And I was like, wow. At the time, my kid, me and his mom were splitting the custody, so I couldn't leave the state and move to Oregon. And my family, my wife, my current wife, and my daughters, yeah, that was easy to do, but I couldn't leave my son. So it was like I really couldn't do that. So I gave that opportunity up. But I was humble enough and patient enough to know that that God was going to give me something next. And at the time when I coached my last year of Little League football, I was a very faith-based coach. Being that my dad's a pastor, I grew up in the church, and I started leaning towards giving my life that direction. So I was very faith-based, and so I prayed on it, and I believe that God gave me an opportunity. They put me at Bishop Blanchette High School, which is a Catholic school, and it fit right in the lines with what I was doing, because we prayed every day. We prayed before, we prayed after practice, we prayed during games. We talked about God in our group meetings with our young people. And at that time, I had 28 players, and 7 of the players were Catholics, and 21 of them were Christian. So every kid on my team came from a spiritual or some type of religious background. So it just made sense, and it fulfilled my heart. It made me really involved. But with that, so I got the opportunity to coach at Bishop Blanchette. I've been there for the past 7 years. And I ran track, so I coached track at Mercer Middle School. I love coaching track. I mean, I'm always coaching, so I love that piece of it, giving back to the kids, helping them advance, helping them get the opportunities that I didn't get, trying to distract them from being in the streets, which is something that I also did. Using sports to do that. It's been a big thing for me. But I recently just applied for a position and was just awarded the head coaching spot at Cleveland High School. So I'm super happy about that. Yeah. So we're building something there, build a new culture, go after some 3A Metro championships. And that's really what I'm trying to do right now with the coaching thing. I'm also going to be still going to coach track at the middle school. So during spring, I'll coach middle school track. Because I always want to have some type of tie to the younger class, even though that I'm coaching high school students. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on with football. But again, my family's been big football. My dad played football. My cousins play football. My uncles play football. My son played football. He was phenomenal at Bishop Blanchette. I mean, defensive lineman, probably 285 pounds, 6 foot tall. You know what I mean? Getting ready to go to Wazoo. He was phenomenal. He's also a coach now, helping me because his school days are kind of ending. But he's been helping me. But yeah, football is my passion. I mean, if there's anything about football anyone needs to know, feel free to hit me up, man. I'm a walking encyclopedia for offense and defense. As you see, I've been coaching since 1997, so that's over 20 years. You know, I've been coaching the football, and I'm always helping everybody put on clinics or camps or whatnot. I did a couple camps last year with some colleges such as like UPS. Shout out to UPS here in Washington. My guy, Coach Schmidt, Coach Johnny, those guys are great, man. And so I'm able to work with some colleges too to help kids get to that level. So we put on camps at Rainier Beach with Corey Sampson, and yeah. So that's kind of the football world for me, man. I'm also a big Seahawks
because I'm
man
not
too,
afraid.
so.
I got Skull Nation, but
I see you.
Since I'm not afraid to put people on the spot, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. With the football thing, we're gonna have to have you on the Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk sometime in the off season. Just talk some football, talk about playing semi-pro, because there's a lot of people coming out of high school that actually reach out to me like just because I have a podcast and go, do you have any idea how I get to this semi-pro or get to another level? And I don't. So somebody like you. Or we were going to have Jordan Harrington on, but I know he got a lot of stuff going on, you know, and it's hard to schedule because he did the semi-pro thing. But there's a lot of guys who want to just keep competing after high school, and I'm never sure where to send them. So it'd be great to have you on there at some point. You can help maybe guide them to where they need to go.
You have my contact information. I'm an open book. You can share it. I'm willing to help anybody with any process of stepping. See, there's a step-by-step process to everything you do, right? So you can't jump a process. You got to start somewhere. And the best thing you can do is reach out to somebody who knows something about what you're trying to do. Don't be shy about it, right? Because it's just the way we build and the way we become better people. In whatever we're doing, whether that's business, sports, or whatnot, reach out to someone that knows what they're doing. And I'm an open book. I'm willing to help anyone. You know, I don't care where you're from. So there is a process, whether it's going into college, whether it's playing semi-pro, and so I'm willing to help.
Well, before I let you guys get out of here, is there anything else you want to put out there before you go? And also, would you drop those social media and email and stuff again? I'll get them in the description, but a lot of people don't like to read. So if you throw it out there one more time, then they could get a hold of you to help out or do whatever they can to help with your causes.
Yeah. I'll let Gern. Gern, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
I'll let Gern tell you how to get in contact with Peixoto Clothing Company if you need Peixoto clothing and gear.
Yeah, you can hit us up at www.peixoto, PEIXOTTO.com. That's the website. And you could also reach me at The Real Peixoto on Instagram.
Yep. We also, Gern, we got a store in Ballard. You want to tell them what that location is in Ballard, Seattle?
Yeah, the store in Ballard is 1766 Northwest Market Street in the old Ballard Blossom building. That's Ballard, Washington. And we're right there right off the corner of 20th and Ballard.
Yep. On Market Street. Yeah. So that's our store. We just opened up this past winter, and we're doing things there too. So we also do custom merch. So, you know, if people need gear, merchandise, please feel free to reach out to us. I think supporting businesses and helping each other right now in this time of, we're still in COVID, right? We need to help people that have small businesses. I would appreciate if you guys helped us out because we need to grow. We need to keep thriving as a business so we can continue to make merchandise for everyone. But that's Peixoto Clothing Company. If you want to get Peixoto or PXO Foundation, the PXO Foundation, which is the nonprofit, the youth nonprofit, is pxofoundation.org and pxofoundation@gmail.com. You can reach me, LB Hicks, Len B Hicks. I'm also going to create some social medias for PXO Foundation. Our website will be coming out soon, so I'll be able to share that too. But that's how you reach the PXO Foundation. If you want any fighting information or anything that has to do with that, as far as training, know where to go, you need some help, some tips, you can catch up with me, LB3T Peixoto, Thomas Castleberry at TFW. Of course, you can catch up with Thomas Turner, the Viking Warrior, Jay Gotham. You can reach any of those guys, and those guys are always part of my team, are willing to help anyone we can. So that's really the basis. If you want some coaching information, you can also hit me on my social medias. You can run through Jay and connect with me there too. I'm leaving that. I want to make sure that Jay, you can reach through me, and anybody that needs something, you're welcome. You're a brother of mine now, and you're fully part of the team. You know what I'm saying? Also, you're gonna be getting some merch from me. It's on its way. So you got some shirts coming and some things, some Peixoto stuff. You know what I mean? So I actually want to see you wear the Team Peixoto shirt that I'm sending you once you get those guys back on your pod.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I'll wear that stuff, Peixoto. And
yeah.
Anybody, if you don't know my social media, just hit us up on Yankee and the Brit. I will make sure to get everything over to Len and anything that you need to know. Make sure you support the nonprofit. I'm hoping you'll come back on again to talk about more stuff you have going on in the future.
Perfect.
And I just want to thank you guys so much for giving us your time and letting everybody know. And just people who help out don't hear this enough, so I want you to hear it from me in case you don't hear it enough. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Oh, Jay, one more thing, man. Just because I have to do this, he's so important to me, man. I love him so much. My guy, James Stewart, Boogie Brow, man. Check him out. He got some YouTube. I'm sorry I didn't send you the video. He got a single that's out right now. We're getting ready to drop his album. Man, check him out. James Stewart, Boogie Brow. The video is called Stepping Out. You can find that on YouTube.
Hey, hit me up with the link, because at some point in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to make up a promo just to shout out like Killer Kush, to shout out SK, Derida, and I'll throw that on there too, man.
Hey, SK was hot, bro. I mean, that dude was hot, bro. When you put that on and I was watching him, I was like, because it's hard to find artists that are like real, that are in the moment and real. A lot of guys, they falsify their image. They doing things that they lying about who they are. That cat was real, and I heard it in his voice. So when you reach that dude, tell him, man, if he ever wants to come to Seattle, I put that you saw me put that in the comments. Come out and see us, man. We could build a show around you. You know what I'm saying? And get to working in the music industry, because I love that too. He was really great, man. You guys support his music. I thought that was fire though, bro.
Yeah, me and him had hit it off right away on Facebook. I think just because we're both like real, we say how we feel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I started listening to his music, and then I just got a hold of some people over at Overtime Hustling, and I kind of probably got on their last nerve driving them until they got me that interview, because I'm like, this dude is real as shit. I need to get him on Real Talk, because I know I'm Real Talk, and his music was banging. And like you said, I'm not trying to shit on anybody out there who's grinding, but you get on YouTube and you start looking through, it's hit or miss. And when I heard his shit, it wasn't just one track that was fire either. He had some, multiple fire tracks going back 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
I mean, his voice alone, the voice. I mean, you can tell when I speak to people, I can tell in their voice. I can hear it. I can hear if they're from the street. I can hear if they talking the real talk. And then not on top of that, his delivery, the way he delivered. Sometimes people, when they spit in bars, they really don't emphasize, the bar itself, so you kind of some people, you don't hear exactly what they're saying. You only hear the last word, or or they repeat themselves all, you know what I mean? So that dude was super fire to me, man. I appreciated you bringing that, giving everybody, your viewers, the opportunity to see new artists like that. You know what I mean? It's something we all need anyway,
Yeah, and I don't know about anybody else, but if it wasn't for music, I'd lose my freaking mind some days. So, like, music can set the mood, man. You know what I mean? You can change your mood just by the type of music you're listening to. So, like, for me, music is a big influence in my life. So when I had a chance to talk with SK, I was like, I definitely got to talk with this dude.
Right. Right. We got some good dudes in our music circle too over here. So I'll send you some music. You know what I mean? I got again my dude Boogie Browdo, his single is hot, bro. I mean, it's not really, you know what I mean? It's not really for one person, it's for everybody. And when I say everybody, it don't matter where you from, it don't matter what race you are, it don't matter what your belief is, it's a everybody type of music. And same thing with like Jay Gotham. Jay Gotham got some hot tracks, and we're gonna be building his album. It's gonna be coming out real soon. You're gonna see Jay Gotham. I'm hoping by the summertime, Jay Gotham will come out with something. His brother is awesome too. I don't know if you've seen Gifted. Gifted fought at Scrapyard. Gifted, he took some time out. He had a finger surgery. That dude's gonna come back, and when you see him, he reminds me of Scotty Showtime. When I say Scotty Showtime is an explosive fighter. Also, by the way, Scotty Showtime, dude, is also one of the newest members to TFW Team Peixoto, and I love that guy. So check him out.
He's about to come on the show. We're just deciding what show to get him on because the dude has played football. The dude has been on Fights MMA, and he's a good conversation. We had him on MMA Underground before. We're talking about, I think I'm going to have him on Real Talk to talk about everything. But even if you guys watch Scrapyard, that's Jay Gotham's singing the intro to the Scrapyard, guys. Jay Gotham got it. And I don't know.
Jay Gotham's hot.
That motherfucker made a song from his bathroom that was banging.
yeah, he did. He does. He likes phone recordings. Which any artist, I feel like that. You know, it's a piece of advice. If you're in the moment and you got something hot, record it. I don't care what you're doing it on. Record it because you can go in the studio later. But record it because that's some hot stuff sometimes. And you know, when you just think of something right out the top of your dome, you know, Jay Gotham's his music is hot, but that's going to be coming out hopefully before the year. Speaking of his brother, that's Gifted Gigante. He's going to be his album. He's got some stuff, music on what is it? I think he's got a video on YouTube. I think he's got some music on SoundCloud. But both of them guys as brothers, man, they got some dope music coming out real soon here. But speaking of Scotty Showtime too, I'm actually going to try and hire that dude for my Cleveland football team.
There you go.
There we go, right?
Any of that music you got, send it over. I'll get it into the shows, man. I think people need to really broaden their horizon on the music. That's a big reason why I'm a fan of Turf Tales, because I can check that show out, and they bring in, they drop so much music from people I've never heard of, and then I'm like, oh wait, who's that? And I gotta go look that up. And then I'm sending it to my boys in Racine and Chicago. Like, I'm like, dude, you gotta check this out.
Dope.
You know?
Dope.
So I got people bumping SK in Racine right now and dude from Connecticut. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you do a good thing, man. I'm glad you network for the people that need it. Keep this thing up, man. I know you when you get with the Brit, tell them I said I appreciate this and thank you for the opportunity. A couple last shout outs, just so I gotta shout out once again, Fire Chicken at the Street Beef Scrapyard. Check us out there. We're the sponsor out there. He's doing some great things. You see the changes that's happened out there. You see the banners and all the work we're putting in out there at the Scrapyard. It is going to just keep going up. We're going to keep getting better. And anything I can do to help, again, you guys reach out to me. I'm here for you. I love you, Yank. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. Everybody's coming together and we're trying to all build something and we're working together to do it. I think it's a beautiful thing. And you guys, after the credits, stay tuned. I'm going to drop that SK video for you again, just so you can see it on the way out after I end the rolling credits.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, right, you see we got belts. You see Peixoto got belts now. I think we holding all of them.
There you go.
I think we holding almost all the belts.
Yeah, it's going to be like what was it for a while? It was the UFC had one camp with all the belts with Nagano and Usman. Yeah. So that's you guys. I always tell Steve, what was that? Sorry.
I was gonna say it's the Terrifier that I can't get on the team, but he got a belt. But that boy's nasty. Wait till you got. Oh my goodness.
Hey,
if I can get him on Team Peixoto,
I'll get on him for you. He's a Wisconsin boy. We talk. I'm gonna get him on him for you. I'm gonna be like, hey, why ain't you fucking with Len and Peixoto already? Like,
Yeah, that dude's. Well, I don't want to take all the scrapyard fighters, right? It'll be like all scrapyard. In a minute, it'll be scrap. I gave Steve a Team Picciotto shirt, put his name on the back. Fire Chicken. I recruited Fire Chicken. It's Team Picciotto, even though he's scrapyard.
I always tell him he's the Dana White of the scrapyard.
Hey, he's a good dude, man. He's a very good dude. He gives us a lot of opportunities. I'm glad that he did that.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate you guys coming on. And everybody, thanks for watching. I'll put those links in the description. One world, one love. Deuces.
One love. Thank you. Deuces.
Everything's polluted. The environment, the government, the schools, you name it.
This radio person is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by